Hey everyone, it's been over 2 minutes and my non-rape string of luck continues to hold out. Stop playing break free from your chains, to break free from your cage. What we don't want to do is go back to a traditionalist world. Hi, I'm Diana Davison. In January of this year, I did a video, and I'll link it below, called Zoolander of the men's rights movement. And it was addressing a character named Fidelbogen.
Fidelbogen?
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 Yeah, whatever, dude. Alright, so why am I going to discuss this guy again? There's been a debate, I guess you could call it, going on in the YouTube community about whether or not fighting feminism is ultimately going to improve the lives of men. On one side of the argument, they're saying no, there's gynocentric behavior, which includes traditionalists, and that if you get rid of feminism, we're just going to come up with a new form of it. That's the side of the argument that I take. And then there were the non-feminist revolution people who have popped up to offer the reasons why they think that fighting feminism is the only important thing. And the grand poobah of this non-feminist revolution is Fidelbogen.
Fidelbogen?
Yeah, we've been through that. And his doctrine to attack the feminists and his recipe for success is called post-argumentalism. Now, don't look it up. He's not actually posting anything. There's no such thing as argumentalism. And, well, let's let him explain what this is. Crashing the Gates, the non-feminist invasion of feminist mindspace. At the heart of the non-feminist revolution lies the project to take back control of the cultural narrative from feminism. We call this project the battle for feminism's soul. To take control of the narrative means, among other things, to shove a completely new conceptual reality into the feminist mindspace with no prior explanation or preparation. Yeah, okay, I get it. You were trying to sound rapey there. Didn't quite work. For them, it would be like walking into a movie halfway through, although that comparison hardly does justice to the radical nature of what we are proposing. All right, so for them, the feminists, plan number one, confuse the fuck out of them, and do it radically. The point is that they have had more than enough time to tell the rest of the world what reality is. The time has come for them to shut up and experience life on the receiving end. It is now their turn to wonder what in heaven's name is going on, and be impolitely told to get with the program. Yeah, I don't know. It just sounds like you're just going to talk in tongues or something, and they're just going to have to work out what to do. Like, confuse them, confound them, leave them stunned and speechless. The treatment that we would dish out differs little from how they have treated the rest of the world for half a century. Henceforth, every settled notion of theirs will be jostled in the common marketplace of ideas, like it was just any old thing. They will be critiqued, problematized, made light of, or best of all, ignored when they try to express themselves. No more epistemic privilege of any kind, and no more pampering of their aesthetic sensibilities or lexical conventions. Thuswise they shall fare. They will lick it up, and they will like it. So, all you really just said here is that you're gonna go, la 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 la, I can't hear you, feminists, and they're gonna like it. We advocate this as a policy consistent with the doctrine of post-argumentalism. Post-argumentalism proposes that argument or debate has no primacy among the methods we might use to move our project forward. Post-argumentalism further proposes that argument or debate, although useful in combination with other methods, is by no means imperative to the realization of our ends. All right, now don't get too excited because it sounds like he's going to tell you something you can do. No, it just never happens. Just don't want you to get too excited. For in the end, we are not obligated to argue with a bully, a tyrant, or a lunatic. We do not delude ourselves that if we craft our words well enough, the bully, tyrant, or lunatic will suddenly understand us. Admit that we are right, and begin to act differently. That realization is a truth which sets us free. And there you go. The truth will set you free, spoken like a true fanatical cult leader. So what do you propose your little cult followers do? I'm going to jump a little bit ahead in this. Recruitment, networking, and mobilization will do that, independently of whether our enemy is persuaded or unpersuaded. Very well. We have drawn our conclusions, and we claim the right to state them freely, and to assume that others are up to speed about what we are saying. We cannot be bothered to attach a full explanatory essay to every word or concept, every time we use it, in our spoken or written communication. Well, that just doesn't sound very effective, so you're going to refuse to explain yourself, or elaborate on your ideas, or engage in any actual conversation whatsoever. Good plan, dude, good plan. So in true post-argumental fashion, we do not argue the merit of our discourse by explaining it. We must assume that our foundational ideas have been sufficiently established by an accumulated history of explanation, and that adversaries will make some effort to learn the basics before they converse with us. We must assume that the laborious work of establishing our ground of meaning has been concluded, and that we may now discourse with that agreeable speed which is properly the life of conversation. So any feminist on earth must either sink or swim in the ocean of ideas that we will generate. If we graciously stop to explain, it is more than our duty requires, and gratitude is in order. Well, I don't think the feminists on earth actually need to be worried about anything you say, because I don't think that's where you are right now. You are definitely not on planet Earth. But we won't slow down for them. And we will unleash a torrent of new jargons, new concepts, and new frames of reference that will leave them mentally adrift and bewildered, as if the ground had been ripped from under their feet, without warning, and they were suddenly bobbing in zero gravity with no idea of up or down anymore. See? I knew it. You're going to talk in tongues. Just what any good religious cult leader would do. No doubt they will find this disturbing, and will experience something like culture shock when they realize that their reactions are not automatically shared, and that people not only don't know what the hell they are talking about, but are rudely telling them so. Such is the non-feminist invasion of feminist mindspace. No one's going to know what the hell you're talking about, because you don't make any sense. What you're saying is just a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of babble, and you might as well just be talking tongues. And most certainly you're not talking about doing anything. All you're talking about is talking, and in fact you're talking about how to talk. Oh, that reminds me of a clip I've seen.
Me tono utra mi sono tutoro e trovese non ricondi ci maria io con aiutero voce di sera e da votare voce di idee tutto male era vasciu e travesco me una polomo i farà congiu e sana concela la vance non sei mais des fois on peut voir parce que les gens ici faire des choses on peut manger mais quand tu es fâché avec quelqu'un c'est for the first time. And that's one of the things that I enjoy most about this convention. It's not so much as so little as to do with what everything is. But it is within our self-interest to understand the topography of our lives unto ourselves. The future states that there is no time other than the collapsation of that sensation of the mirror of the memories in which we are living. Common knowledge, but important nonetheless. As we face fear in these times, and fear is all around us, we also have anti-fear. It's hard to imagine or measure. The background radiation is simply too static to be able to be seen under the normal spectral analysis.
All right, so I'm just going to jump ahead to the next article because there's nothing else that's really doing anything different than that last one. And, you know, there's some interesting stuff in the next one that I think we need to really assess as well. An Introduction to Post-argumentalism. The accumulated wisdom of the activated non-feminist sector finds feminism to be, on balance, pernicious. The reasons for this verdict are many and have been examined elsewhere. For a start, know this. We mean to draw a line against the encroachment of feminist power into the non-feminist world. Since we find that power pernicious, we naturally find ourselves at odds with almost every aspect of it. This brings us to the topic of the moment, post-argumentalism. All right, so all you really said there with all those words was, feminism, I don't like it. I don't like it one little bit. But we're still waiting to find out what you're going to do about it. Post-argumentalism is the stage beyond argument. The stage you enter after you deplete the possibilities of debate or persuasion in a given setting. It is a kind of existential crisis in the face of an intractable other. Aha! So that's what's going on. Fidelbogen is in a state of existential crisis. Somebody please help the man. The other may find your stance unacceptable, but you find his equally so, and there you stand. Since argument has not settled the issue, and apparently never will, you are excused from such activity, and may henceforth either agree to disagree with the other, or enter a state of war with the other. So you can agree, or you can disagree, or you can agree to disagree, or you can go to war. None of this holds any great mystery. If you have ever dealt with a fanatical cultist, or an incorrigibly pig-headed person of any kind, you will perfectly understand the base dynamic. And what is true of a solitary individual can as well be true of an entire group or subculture. Yeah, that's why MGTOW are not trying to reform. That's why they're walking away. The intractable other that now confronts us is the subculture called feminism. As said, we find feminism pernicious, and that implies that we have already settled the debate to our own satisfaction. We see no reason to keep arguing in hope of persuading this intractable other. We've long since persuaded ourselves, and that should suffice. We know whose opinion we value, and whose judgment we trust. In all cases, we cherish our own conclusions because we deem it best. And if we deemed otherwise, we'd have concluded otherwise. Alright, so if you didn't think this, then you'd think something else. That's really... Oh my god, don't make it so easy for the feminists. This is terrible. I'm gonna jump to the end because something just as bad happens, and then let's just be done with this, and hopefully everyone can have learned their lessons. As non-feminist men and women, we must ask ourselves, what did we originally hope to accomplish by arguing? Supposing we could have persuaded the intractable other, what did we hope to gain? What did we hope to obtain that we couldn't have gotten elsewise in due course? What prevented us from simply taking it? If something belongs to us, it is simply a question of overriding or overruling the intractable other in order to secure what is rightfully ours. Correct? In that case, what is the good of persuasion? To talk the other into giving us what is rightfully ours? To talk the thief into handing back our stolen property? We know that this intractable other, feminism, is a taker who never quits taking and gives nothing back at the behest of mere persuasion. We ought to craft our politics in the light of such understanding. In other words, we ought to craft our politics post-argumentally. We do not argue with feminism, we simply tell it things. And if it will not listen or modify its course, we hold it accountable. So what is it? What is this thing? What is this property? It's like, you can't even tell what you're talking about anymore. I suggest you go get a copy of Strunk and White so that people might actually understand what the hell it is you're saying. It doesn't make sense, dude. You're not going to argue with feminists anymore? You're just going to tell it things. Yeah. And now for the rape joke of the week. I just bought Clue, the gang rape edition. Turns out, they all did it.